Welcome to this support video on using the GLC Request eForm to create, change or close general ledger codes. The introduction page will give you an overview of what you are able to request. You may create, change or close a GL code using this eForm. Further information on the different funds, assistance with completing this eForm, and information on areas can also be found on this page. You may save your progress at any time here to continue at a later date. Please note that the form does not save automatically upon exiting. Please select your role here. On the next page, your details will be populated based on the role you chose. Please select whether you are creating, changing or closing a GL code. When requesting a new GLC, please indicate whether the request is for a new project or a sub-project under an existing project. If it's for a new project, indicate whether you will require additional sub-projects to be created within this eForm. If you are not the fund manager, please enter their details. The fund manager's department ID will be suggested as the department ID for this project. If this is incorrect, please enter the department ID under which you would like your new GLC to be set up. Please note that for research projects, the fund manager is the lead chief investigator. Please indicate whether your project is research related or not, and if so, whether you have an Aries ID. Please note that all research-related projects must have an Aries record. An Aries record for non-research related projects is optional. Depending on the combination of your responses, you may be required to answer additional questions on the philanthropic nature of the income further in the eForm. If you are unable to provide a valid Aries record for a research-related project, the eForm will not allow you to continue. If you entered a valid Aries record, the eForm will populate the fund provider and funding scheme details from Aries on this page. Adding a fund provider on this page is mandatory. If your fund provider does not exist in Aries, please submit an AU request for a new funds provider or scheme. Pulling data from Aries, the eForm will display the project composite code as well as the HERDE code, subcode and descriptor. It will also display funding sources. Please save the eForm and access Aries to confirm this information is correct before resuming. In the next section of this page, you will be able to provide a short project title and funding source, which will both be used as part of the project title in ES Financials. If your project is externally led, please provide the lead institution name here. If income to the university is to be considered philanthropic, it needs to meet all of the criteria shown here. Please indicate whether the income specified in your request meets all of the criteria. If yes, this income will be assigned to a D fund. Please note in this instance, you will be required to later upload a copy of the philanthropic income checklist available from Alumni Relations and Philanthropy. If you indicated that there's a contractual obligation to return any unspent funds, the income will be assigned to an S fund. If the university is not required to return any unspent funds, but a contract or agreement is still required, the income will be assigned to a Q fund. If a contract or agreement is not required, the income will be assigned to a discretionary Q fund. For D, S and Q funds, please indicate whether the required contract is available in Aries. When submitting a request without a finalized contract, the request will be sent to the relevant delegated authority to accept the risk of the GLC creation on behalf of the school or college. Please provide a mandatory statement on the reasons why a GLC needs to be created before the required contract is finalized, as well as the level of risk and a mitigation strategy. This will be provided to the delegated authority to review. This is not applicable to discretionary Q funds. Finally, by ticking the checkbox, you confirm that all required information has been added to the Aries record. If the request is non-research related with no Aries record, there will be no tick box to select. On this page, you will be asked to provide details on the request at the project level. If you chose to add sub-projects, you must also provide details at the sub-project level. Each sub-project has its own section. Use the drop-down list to select the number of sub-project sections you require. In each section, provide details on the sub-project code, Provide a short description and indicate whether interest payment or salary costs via the ANU payroll system are required. Click on the information bubble for assistance on the sub-project code. The summary page will give you an overview of your selections. This includes the request type and details of your requested GLC at project level and, if applicable, at sub-project level. If your request is for a discretionary Q fund, or if you indicated that the contract is not yet finalized, your request will be sent to a delegated authority. Please select the appropriate delegated authority from the drop-down menu. On the submission page, you will have the opportunity to add any additional comments to the approver. You may also elect to add the relevant finance and/or research officers to receive email notifications. Finally, tick the checkbox to confirm that all information provided is correct. When submitting the e-form, it may be sent to the following for approval. If the request is for a discretionary Q fund, or when the contract is not finalized for other funds, the form will be sent to the relevant delegated authority. If the request is for a D fund with a finalized contract, the form will be sent to Alumni Relations and Philanthropy. All other requests will be sent to Research Accounting. If you select a change, you can request to update either the project title, the fund manager, HRMS, or request to reactivate the GL code. Please note that with the exception of HRMS changes, the other changes can be requested simultaneously. If you make a change to the fund manager, it is your responsibility to update the fund manager in Aries. All changes can be made for a project or multiple sub-projects under the same project. A request to update HRMS will be sent to HR Systems to action, and all other requests will be sent to Research Accounting to review and approve. HRMS changes can include setting up a GLC to incur salary costs and setting up or removing a long service leave override from an existing GLC. If you select a closure, you can choose to either permanently close or temporarily inactivate the GL code. Your request will be sent to the Research Accounting team, who will action a temporary inactivation in ES Financials, or review and approve a permanent closure. Please note that to permanently close a GL code, the life-to-date balance of the ledger must be 0. You will be required to enter the fund code, department ID and project code. If you selected to close the GL code, you will also be required to upload a final statement. Please note that only Excel and PDF formats may be uploaded. Thank you for your interest in the General Ledger Code Request e-form. Further information can be found on the Research Accounting website at the link provided on your screen. If you have any suggestions for further functionality, improvements, or would like to provide feedback regarding e-forms or the support video, please visit the Service Improvement Group webpage, where you can submit a short feedback e-form.